Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, and we are so ready for the Poly CCX series IP phones. So this is going to be a really short one because this video honestly is just hype. That and it's just me complaining that I haven't been able to get my hands on one of these new Polycoms because they're so different than the previous ones. So a little bit of backstory here. For those of you who may or may not know, um, we work with pretty much all of the voice over IP service providers on a regular daily basis to help customers figure out what business phone system service provider and solutions, i.e., service, IP phones, and in some cases, even headsets, makes the most sense for their business. So, as you know, we pretty much see pretty much everything that's, what's hot and what's not in the hardware world in regards to voice over IP. So to take it even a step further, you may or may not know for the VoIP Awards, which is a Rich Technology Group event, the Polycom VVX 250 actually won Best IP Phone for the VoIP Awards 2021. While it's probably not the most feature-rich phone out of all the Polycom phones that we've laid eyes on or put our hands on or helped clients adopt, it is probably one of the most sought after because of its small footprint. It's low cost, very very low entry level cost, and then to make it even better, a lot of voice over IP service providers give the phone away for free, with new service or whatever. Now, while that phone is cool, and there's a lot of other cool, Polycom phones out there like the VVX 350, which I've got sitting over here on the shelf, and even the VVX 550 with the expansion module. The CCX is something else totally different in a class of its own. It is basically the way that I described it to somebody when I was talking to them the other day, just a giant touchscreen. Let's see if I can find you guys a bigger picture here. Here we go. It's basically just a giant touchscreen with a speakerphone. Now, couple of reasons why this excites me here. Three reasons. Number one, this is totally different. This is like next level, next generation stuff, not only just from Poly, but in general in the IP phone space. Number two, it's a touchscreen. It has no buttons on it. There looks like there's like a speakerphone button here, and then there's maybe like a volume up and down button here, but I don't think these are really buttons. I think they're like touch sensitivity, like panel things, but there's no buttons on this thing. The other thing is look at the speaker on this bad boy, and this is how they all look. For those of you who may or may not know, Poly has always been known for having some of the best HD voice on the market. I've been known to say in many of my videos that the speakerphone quality on it is so good that it sounds like the person that's on speaker is sitting in the room next to you, like on the corner of your desk. And that really is typically the case. So I can only imagine what the speakers on this sound like because it looks bigger, better. It looks like it's got higher definition. I can't wait. We've been trying to get our hands on these for a while. For those of you who are frequent in the channel, you know that we have a very good relationship with VoIP Supply, who pretty much is kind of the end all and be all of anything that's voice over IP hardware related in the industry. If it exists, they know where it is, they know how to get it, or they probably already have it. They don't have a lot of these yet, but as soon as they've got some extra for me, I've been keeping close tabs on these with them. I should have some for review, but I'm curious to see just how different these are in comparison to what we've seen with the other Polycoms in the past. I don't know fully yet, but I've heard that these have Android support, meaning you can download actual Android apps or something like that. I don't know how true that is, and I don't know how good or bad the support is going to be for something like the Google Play Store, but we're going to find out. So, as always, when I do these videos where we're kind of talking about like theoretical tech or things that are kind of in beta or cutting edge, for any of you who are watching this video, I would be curious to know from you if you have used the Polycom CCX series yet. If so, what was your initial impressions? Were they stable? Did you like what you saw in the general sense when using them? I'd be curious to know. This actually looks like this is what I'm willing to bet you guys this is what the new, this CCX 500. I bet you this will be what replaces the VVX 250 essentially. This looks like it could be the 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 baby brother of the VVX 250, essentially this thing right here where my cursor is. Funny thing is if you look at this, the screen is different, the speaker is different, the chassis, everything is totally different, totally cutting edge, but the handset is almost identical as far as the shape, the contour, and even down to the HD voice thing that's on there. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see, you guys. But again, for those of you who are watching, let me know if you've actually used one of these CCX series phones. What your first impressions were, what your experience has been with it. Was it stable? Did it have Google Play Store support? Was it full support or partial support that was kind of restricted with Polycom only approved or compatible apps? I'd be curious to know. But stay tuned on the channel because we've already been talking with our buddies over at VoIP Supply to, as soon as they get their hands on, some extras of these, to send some of these to us for review because we're super excited to see what these phones are all about. More importantly, I'm curious to see what VoIP service providers are going to actually support this phone and how soon. As of right now, I don't think any of the major providers, from what I've seen in passing, support these phones. So even if they were in abundance, it may not matter quite yet until the VoIP service providers, they get their firmware in order and get their developers in track to be able to support these. But I'm curious to see what happens as this unfolds. The other thing that I want to point out before we wrap this video up is some of you are probably watching this wondering, hey, what's the new cordless phone going to be like? We actually have what we believe to be the last cordless phone from Poly for now. Um, Polycom basically kind of got out of the cordless phone space, I want to say in late 2019, early or mid 2020. Again, I've got the last actual Poly, which is a very nice phone that we have yet to do a review on, but we're going to do it. That's supported by a lot of carriers. I have the last one that they manufactured that was actually really decent, but I don't expect to see a cordless version of the CCX for Poly. I think they're going to stick to just desk phones, and I think they kind of unofficially said they're pulling out of the cordless market. I guess they'll leave that to Yealink and some of those other guys. But anyways, if anybody's seen anything about this phone or heard anything about it or used it, feel free to comment below. As always, keep it polite and constructive. If you hated the phone, you can say you hated it, but just don't bash it. We like to stay in the good graces with Poly and Poly's distributors like VoIP Supply. But let us know what you think. Please like this video if you found this video helpful. We upload new videos every single week. So remember to hit that notification bell and subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for advice on a VoIP service provider or for advice on what IP phones, or accessories make the most sense for your business, our consulting service is free. Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, your go-to guy for the best deals on business phone and internet service in the United States. I'll catch you guys again in the next video.